Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Khadiza from Bashundhara Ad-din Medical College. Students, how are you? Hope all of you are well. Today I'm going to discuss about item number 1. It includes the definition and goal and importance of physiology, and homeostasis is definition, major functional systems and control systems of our body. Now, first of all, we have to know what is physiology. It is the branch of medical science that explains the physical and chemical factors that are responsible for the origin, development and progression of life. This slide shows that Claude Bernard, he is the father of physiology. Now, what is the goal? The goal of physiology is to explain chemical, physical factors that are responsible for the origin, development and progression of life. Now, what is the importance of physiology? A good knowledge of human physiology is important in understanding the effect of organ dysfunction secondary to disease. Now, what are the branches? Physiology is a vast subject. It includes different types of branches like viral physiology, bacterial physiology, cellular physiology, plant physiology and human physiology. As we in physiology, we are going to discuss about the human physiology. Now, this slide shows the levels of human body. Human body have different levels. It has a chemical level, and then cellular level, tissue level, and organ level, and then system level. And all the systems include forms human body. Cell is the living and structural and functional unit of living organism. And we know that there is about 100 trillion cells present in human body. This slide shows that how a system organized or formed. That is, in chemical level, different types of chemical forms DNA, and then a cell is formed by the DNA. Then the different types of cell unite to form a tissue, and the tissue unite to form a organ, and then a different organ unite or work together to form a system, and different types of systems work together for a human body. Human body have different types of systems. Firstly, circulatory system, then digestive system, respiratory system, urinary system, a skeletal system, muscular system, an integumentary system, immune system, nervous system, and endocrine system and reproductive system. These all are the systems present in our body, but there are mainly two systems that regulate all the functions, that are the endocrine system and nervous system. Endocrine system mainly regulate the metabolic functions, and the nervous system that regulate mainly muscular and secretory activities of the body. Now, we have to know what is internal environment. Human body has about 60% of cell fluid in our body, and the fluid, the cell remain in the, and the fluid that remains inside the cell is called intercellular fluid, and the fluid that remain outside the cell is called extracellular fluid. And this extracellular fluid that remain outside the cell is called the internal environment or milieu interior. Claude Bernard, a French physiologist, introduced this term about 100 years ago. This extracellular fluid is in constant motion throughout the body, and so that all the cells and tissues live in the same environment, and the extracellular fluid provide proper concentration of carbon dioxide, oxygen, nutrition, ions and amino acids and fatty acids to the cell. So, cells are capable of living, growing and performing their special functions in the extracellular fluid. And this slide shows the different types of ion that present extracellular fluid and also in the intercellular fluid, like sodium, potassium, magnesium. These are the cations, and the anions like chloride, bicarbonates, phosphates, and glucose. These are the constituents. You can see that some ions are more in the extracellular fluid, some are more in the intercellular fluid, and this level must be maintained, this level. If any change of this value, this will cause a critical condition or disease condition. So there is some homeostatic mechanism that tries to keep the this level same at the constant level. So what is homeostasis? Homeostasis means, homeo means sameness and stasis means stand still. So maintenance of nearly constant condition of internal environment is called homeostasis. So you can see this in this figure that how internal environment is maintained. The cell remain in the extracellular fluid. They live in the environment, and the ions must remain the same. If any change in the environment, the other systems in the body tries to keep the condition towards the back to the normal. So there are two regulatory systems that are already discussed, that is nervous system and hormonal systems, and these systems all work together to maintain the constant condition by two mechanisms, that is positive feedback mechanism and negative feedback mechanism. Now we are going to discuss about negative feedback mechanism. If some factors become excessive or deficit, a control system which consists of a series of changes that return the factors towards the certain mean value that thus maintain homeostasis called negative feedback mechanism. Negative feedback system reverses changes in a control condition. Now what are the examples of negative feedback mechanism? Almost all the systems regulates in our body are controlled by the negative feedback mechanism, like regulation of blood pressure, regulation of water electrolyte balance, regulation of oxygen and carbon dioxide concentration in the blood. Now we are going to discuss the regulation of blood pressure. When blood pressure rises, stretching of the arterial walls stimulate the baroreceptors, and then baroreceptor sends a signal to the vasomotor center of the brain, and that decreases the impulse transmission from the vasomotor center, and that causes decreasing pumping activity of the heart and also dilate the blood vessels, and this causes decrease the blood pressure towards the normal. Now what is positive feedback mechanism? It is the initial stimulus that causes more of the same is called positive feedback mechanism. The examples are blood clotting within the blood vessels, childbirth, generation of nerve impulse, pre-voltary release surge, and insulin secretion after meal. Now we are going to discuss just childbirth. Strong uterine contractions causes push the baby's head to the cervix, and that causes a stretching of the cervix, and that causes sends signal to the uterine muscle and body of the uterus, that causes more powerful uterine contraction. Thus uterine contraction that causes stretching of the more stretching of the cervix, and this cervix stretch this causes more contraction of the body of the uterus, and this process is become more powerful, and in this way childbirth occurs. Positive feedback mechanism is usually harmful for our body, and we will discuss how it become harmful. We know that our body have about 5 liters of blood. If suddenly there is a sudden loss of 2 liters of blood, then the heart have to pump 3 liters of blood per minute. And when arterial blood, as a result, arterial blood pressure falls, so blood gets less blood supply, heart gets less blood supply, and then it become weak due to less coronary blood supply, and this way the cardiac output decreases, and so ultimately it gets less blood supply subsequently, and if this process become continue, then heart stop beating. You can see in this figure that firstly there is loss of blood when suddenly loss of 1 liter of blood. If any up to losing of 1 liter of blood, the body can return towards the normal by homeostatic mechanism. If body losses 2 liter of blood and there is no there's compensation, then it continue to continue progression to the death after 3 hours. Okay students, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.